Wuxia. Okay, well there we go.
Do you want to watch some wuxia movies?
I mean,
So,
if we ever
good
have
stuff.
some downtime, like, we've had a lot of good games thus far.
Okay, so no downtime expected. Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, we'll see. So I don't know. I don't really know if you need much of an introduction, but we have a Jesse Day who is from all over the U.S. I don't know. Do you call yourself from Boston, Berkeley,
Oh no,
France?
I'm a resident of Austin, Texas.
But what do you call yourself? Like
Hook 'em horn.
I'm from, or do you just go with Austin? You're a man of the world.
Yeah, I don't know, Bay Area something, but
Yeah.
I'm delighted to hop into the hot seat, and we have the voice of Scrabble, who I'm replacing, Matt Canik. So
Yeah.
this could be a tall order, but I'm gonna do my absolute best.
So Sam played against Dave Wiegand on board 1 in the first game, and his opening play was JOR. So Sam might open with JOR.
Okay, I won't judge.
Um,
Someone says that I'm an NPC in a world of Chat GPT and such. I guess I could be, but
yeah,
I'll have to be erratic in a way that no computer would be, or something like that, just
exactly.
to convince y'all.
Yeah. You are technically in the quackle seat, so if you want to do any quackling, you're more than welcome to. If you don't, you also don't have to.
Not really that into wonderful. If I have to, sure. Okay, what else am I supposed to provide? Witty
No.
banter?
Yeah,
Or,
just witty banter.
okay, that's kind of what I mentally geared myself up for. So
Yeah, you just
if I
happen.
need to get serious, just kind of give me
No.
a shot to the ribs or something. So
Who do you think you're talking to? I am the world's most serious commentator.
Okay, is that so? How did they evaluate that?
I don't know, but I'm definitely not.
Okay. Well, we don't have any beverages, so it's
Well, we have the coffee.
kind of limits how wild we can get here. But yeah, coffee, right.
Oh,
That time
it's way better than the sort of coffee that's over there.
I think Dijon would be a great play, but it's not a word
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
It's I guess it's like copyright. I mean, it's used conventionally, colloquially enough that I think Dijon. If Dijon were a word, I think that would be the star play.
Yeah.
So good find. Silver Rush 256.
And let's see, we had an Angus's sighting yesterday. It wasn't played, but a similar managed to not play that.
That was a wise choice by whoever that was.
It was Jackson Smiley. So I'm surprised Sam has already spent 2 minutes. Dojo does seem pretty.
I'd get in the dojo immediately.
Yeah. Do some wuxia.
Yeah.
He's just gonna play Joe.
That's defensible. I kind of like the DINOR synergy.
If you get an E, it's great. I think it is a little bit reliant probably on drawing 1-pointers, but from what we can see from Stefan, like, oh my god, is he Stefan or Stefan? I should know this. I've known him for a lot of years. Stefan.
I think it's Steven.
Steven?
Steph. We can go with
let's go
kind of like Steph
yeah.
Curry.
Yeah, Steph. Okay.
30.
All right. Well, what's he that GUID?
He is going to play off his worst letters, which for those of you who are relatively new to this game, that's you usually do that and then you bingo a bunch, and then if you do that, you're probably an expert. So good play, Stefan.
And unfortunately for him, Sam has not picked up an E, but did pick up a good rack, and it does appear that he's been given a double opportunity.
Do you think he's going to find it? So there's 2 words in this rack through the D. And if he's I don't know how he's been playing. If he's 8-2, he's probably in a good vibe. But sometimes the pressure of the stream will make people act rashly, or he spent kind of a long time in that first move. Maybe that would lead him to just play androids. But he has the lovely disadorn, which means to not adorn. To remove adornments?
Remove adornments. But remember, it is a Rosin bingo. So do you think he knows all the bingos with his last name?
I think it will factor in and make him full of shame if he misses it. So he better find it just so he doesn't get demoralized, I would say.
Back in the day, I know he knew all the Rosin bingos when he was a mere child, but it looks like he's going to quickly play Inroads, which is, I guess, probably better than Androids, maybe?
Yeah,
Probably more
but
points.
he did leave. What was it, like 19 points on the? I
Oh,
should
yeah,
probably
yeah.
get this Quackle thing going
Yeah,
so that I can appear omniscient.
and Inroads is actually gonna kind of bail Steph out here with a nice spot for Mui, saving his S for jogs. So
Yeah,
all
I
things
mean,
considered, could have been worse.
it. I mean, when you get to play movie, this is one of my beliefs about bad racks. A lot of people look at their letters and the letters are bad, and they say, "Oh, I am so unlucky." But actually, when you have a decent place to play through a bad rack, you should consider that getting lucky.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah, I agree.
it's not about what letters you have in a vacuum. You could play the worst letters in the world for 50. Is what is did Stefan hold there for a minute? Is that why Sam had to delay his draw? Okay, well he's gonna play
I
anyway.
think
So
Sam was just recording his score and stuff slowly. Thoughts on playing drunk bingo?
that's the only way to play.
Yeah,
So I think Stefan missed an opportunity there. He's reliant on drawing consonants to get him back level. Mui would have been a real star play, overlapping inroads,
yeah.
making me on or an IO, which is for the uninitiated, is some kind of a Greek cry.
South African, as it turns out.
South African.
Yeah,
Okay, jeez.
Otter let us know.
I don't know that for personal
Oh wait, sorry.
experience.
Wait, IO or Mui?
Oh,
Oh,
IO.
IO. Sorry, that is a cry. No, no.
A
I take
cryogenic.
back what I said.
I feel like it's Greek, but
Oh yeah.
I have no actual proof that it's Greek,
Well,
so I wonder where that idea came from.
Io the moon was I is
Oh
Io. Wait,
yes,
Io's a goddess, right?
that's right. It's one of the moons of Saturn or
Sounds
Jupiter or
yeah,
something.
Saturn. Sounds Greek, but Saturn is Roman. I don't know.
I find myself just outright lying on stream more often because you have to do it with confidence. Like you
Yeah,
don't really have the time to multitask and
right.
Google stuff. So you kind of just put things out authoritatively and just kind of eventually the viewers kind of figure it out and
Yeah,
they correct you, but you just have to put yourself out there.
yeah.
Jupiter.
Oh, it
Okay.
is Jupiter. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. See, look how certain I sounded of my things that I would have known when I was 5. So I'm not smarter than a 5th grader anymore for sure.
Explain like I'm 5.
Yeah, and that's one of the best prompts you can give Bard or ChatGPT is talk to me like I'm 5.
Exactly. Well, there is a Scrabble game, and Sam's got a little advantage. And he has some tiles that if he gets rid of his H, his O, and his V, he plays a hove somewhere, then he should be in a pretty nice shape to bingo in a turn or two. So his priority is just going to be getting rid of the bad letters.
Yeah, and it does seem that Stefan has an unplayable bingo, but also has an unplayable 7 on his rack, but does have one 8-letter word that I see.
Oh, very nice. Yes, this rack is if you get down the road of studying, it's one of the first bingo racks you'll run into that doesn't have an E in it.
Honestly, one of the only
So
ones that comes sooner is the very similar inroads.
exactly. So he's got in so far,
Yeah,
and he'll be hoping that he's given a spot to put it down.
yeah,
And what is the 8-letter word that you see, Conrad?
through the N.
Through the N, yes. Excellent.
No idea if he would know it because I think that's a Collins word. I
That
think.
is Collins only. So
Yeah,
he has the potential to play Franians through that N. It's kind of an airball bingo. Doesn't hit any double word score, triple letter score, anything particularly exciting. But you always want a bingo when you can get that 50-point bonus. That is really the strategy that will lead you to expertdom. Bingo early, bingo often. Get rid of the tiles that don't let you bingo.
yeah. So, question from our Balogun in the stream: is Jesse not playing? Obviously, Jesse is not playing, but give us a little update. Like, it's not unusual for me to not be playing, but like you usually play. What's up?
Well, I'm taking a little bit of a break. I just had my first kid about a year ago, and they talk about mom brain a lot, which is like a real biological thing. But I feel like I got dad brain.
How would you describe dad brain?
Uh, just kind of bad at routine thinking.
Mhm. Well,
So
that's
you'll see me back out here at some point, but for now, I'm very happy
yeah.
to hang out with. Oh, thank you, anonymous person in stream. I'm very happy just to hang out and be around some great Scrabble, but not practice it myself.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we've given a couple shout outs to your upcoming event, but while Sam spends another hour on this play, you want to plug your upcoming event in Texas?
oh, that's right. We are going to throw an excellent. Uh, okay, so we've got a full solar eclipse coming up. The last one that'll be visible in North America for possibly the rest of the century, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
And we are holding a Scrabble tournament the day before this eclipse in Austin, Texas. And if you stay in Austin, you get, I think, 3 minutes of totality
It's over 4, isn't it?
over 4. Okay. Yeah. So if you're itching to catch the eclipse and play some quality Colin Scrabble, come to Austin in April.
And I don't know why you wouldn't want to do both of those things. So you should definitely check it out. Jalapik One can probably field any comments or any interest from folks. So this might get interesting. So Sam played Heap, saving SOV.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's is there a 7 in that? I forget. Um, 1 minute and 46 seconds apparently in Austin. Well, in Mexico it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So, insofar as Stefan's play here, though, the obvious play I think is just playing FA and DA, which would keep a good leave, but still looking for that S.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by Sam's play. He really agonized over it. I think he saw a heap right away
Yeah,
and just didn't feel like playing it because, as I mentioned, getting rid of the V. The V is bingo kryptonite. Play your Vs off when you can.
yeah,
But ultimately, I don't think he could find something that played the V off that was just scored enough points to offset the 33 instant calorie points of heap. So OSV, actually, he drew quite well to that,
yeah,
and it has the potential of working itself out. But that would explain Sam's hesitation.
yeah.
So
Yeah, Fa unsurprisingly, Volant does not take an S. I realized what I was saying when I suggested that. Volant only takes an E.
this is a great test for Sam. That
Yeah,
whether is he going to try Volants? Volant as a 6 that doesn't take the S is quite tricky. It is the real word in there requires the E for
yeah,
volants,
yeah, which
which I
does take an
believe is
S.
some kind of a carriage, some kind of a French
It's a
chariot.
Spanish two-wheeled horse vehicle.
Ah,
So I don't know if it's a
volantes.
carriage or
Okay.
anything else, but it is decidedly a horse
I
vehicle.
was pretty sure it was equine in some respects.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see if Sam uh, is tempted at all to try volants.
yeah,
Um, But I will point out Stefan's play of Fa there. I mean, it looks kind of routine because it just keeps mostly bingo letters. It scores very nicely. It has a added, I guess, a very minor benefit of setting up his S such that he might be able to play a double double high
yeah,
point bingo. So from Stefan's perspective, Fa is not just points but also
yeah,
strategic because he doesn't know that Sam has an S.
yep. Well, he does now. He drew a Rosinry, which will not help very much, but Rosiny is good. uh,
He might be tempted to. I haven't looked all through his options. I wonder if even Rosie or something, Rosie, Day, and Ifs might actually be a solid
yeah,
option.
maybe, or it could, yeah, anything that involves your last name at YIRR, perhaps setting up his S on the triple.
That's probably superior. I agree.
But what is Sam gonna do? You can, play something small on the left side above heap. Not particularly exciting, but accomplishes something.
Right. So his ideal leave here is something like ANST,
Yeah,
ALST. So he'd really like to play off LOV or
yeah,
NOV.
yeah,
But again, well, this is one of the challenges of keeping a V around is that it tends to be less flexible in terms of
yeah.
what you can do to offload it. It doesn't overlap well. It doesn't make any two-letter words.
Did you hear how the last game ended?
I spectated it. It was
Okay,
pretty spectacular.
yeah.
Sometimes the V's are. Sometimes
I was gonna
UVB
say, yeah,
is
the
a
V, the
superior
V is
kid.
the best tile ever.
That's what keeps us playing,
Yeah,
isn't it? The fact that you have these rules, and then the rules get completely broken and overruled
yeah.
situationally.
I do like the suggestion of Volta and Ya from Sidewinder. That's kind of cool. Gets rid of, he kind of just turns over the rack, keeps the S, and
I think what I would do here is possibly to play Dal and Lav.
yeah, I was
That's
considering that.
another option. It keeps NOST is a little more potent than NS, but it does give back some very high scoring, potentially words on row 14 because
Yeah,
if he plays Lav LAV, that would take an A hook or an E hook, could set up an easy 70-point play.
yeah. And after FA, like, you, there are multiple reads on what Stefan could have. He could have something close to a bingo, but he could have just kept some other high point tiles, setting it up with DA. But he is going to quickly play YIRR,
Very nice.
which I like.
Totally agree. This is the play. You want to
Yeah,
keep that S. That S is typically worth. It's a little bit situational, but you can think of it being worth 8 to
yeah.
10 points.
But on this board, it's an S is great.
Absolutely. There's
Yeah,
some very nice places to play bingos, hooking jogs, hooking days. I love YRR. Keeps the
yeah,
time pressure on as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
which is already a factor. Sam's close to having used up half of his time, and
yeah,
it's hard to say that he's made any really major decisions yet. So he's got to be a little bit concerned about that.
yep. Ooh, and
I don't like VAT especially.
I don't either. Yeah,
The L and the N have terrible anti synergy.
yeah. And the O doesn't really help it.
That just aggravates it
Yeah,
more. I would keep NS in over LNOS.
yeah,
So I would have taken Volta.
yeah,
Um, and the result of that is he's seems to me like he's going to have to play something short
yeah,
and somewhat fishy, which is going to allow Stefan to catch up on tempo. Although we, with the benefit of omniscience, we know that Stefan just had a little bit of a rough draw. Although actually Stefan can get out of it with something like Shorn for
yeah,
45. He could try to go for the first blank.
yeah,
It's not total
yeah.
trouble. I wonder, what about something like Salon and Years here? The reason I suggest it,
Mm,
I mean, I don't love playing off the S, but the first blank is still looming out there. EN is a fine keep. What do people think here? Let's hear it, chat. Tell
yeah,
me why I'm wrong.
yeah. I mean, what I will say while chat ponders it is, Sam has a lead, so there's something to be said for like keeping the pressure on with SS blank blank still on, or SSS blank blank unseen.
Hmm.
I'm not surprised he played no, because it does keep a good lead, and again, the S is very powerful. So good idea not to spend a bunch of time here.
It does make it possible for uh, uh, for Stefan to catch up though, because
Yeah,
if he misses enough times in a row,
yeah,
that's one of the ways that Stefan can get back into the game.
yeah. So he has Shorn spelled out, as we see. Sam has picked up a good rack here, so he will definitely bingo. Shorn will,
Shorin goes down quickly, keeping up the
yeah,
time pressure.
yeah. This point, it seems like I know that Stefan is a big brain player where like he will kind of take in the meta if he can get his opponent in time pressure. He will. He also is aware of sometimes he gets in time pressure, so he does think about stuff like that.
Am I a big brain player, Conrad?
You do seem to be able to do crazy things where you'll play 3 turns in 21 minutes and then play 10 turns in 3 minutes. So, which is totally fine. I mean,
Okay. I'm reassured.
yeah. So Sam is going to play to Centils. Okay, I thought he was playing Cantils first. And I was like, that's a risky thing to do. No, he's playing Centils. We do see the Z come out alongside some other terrible things, but again, there is a play that appears to bail him out of a pretty ugly rack. Q's probably hanging around, but what do you think? Do you just kind of play off all those letters?
Well, he can play a Turkish word, I believe, Çezve,
Yeah.
which the chat has
Yeah.
picked up on. And that's one of those words where, while it looks ridiculously obscure, there just aren't that many other things you can do with that set of letters.
Right.
You kind of see it or you don't. He
Yeah.
has seen it, and I strongly suspect it's going to be on the board in no time.
Yeah. Chesbes, those things are cool. I know exactly what it is as a, as coffee people.
Absolutely. I'll take Turkish coffee anytime.
Have you been to Turkey?
I have,
Yeah.
yes.
Where do you recommend the uninitiated go?
Oh, I have just been to Istanbul, but I
Okay.
had the best breakfast of my life. So
Oh yeah,
I hit me up if you want a Turkish breakfast.
nice. Turkish delight. Just kidding.
Oh, that stuff is also good as long as it's not the candy form.
So the Turkish word comes down. Bezizzle says, "Go to Turkey for the coffee and the kitties." Yes, sweetie, we can do that sometime. I would love to. That is Brandon. If that wasn't like abundantly
Excellent.
and oh my god, his racks just keep going from like bad to worse.
To be frank, given how poorly Stefan has drawn
Yeah.
so far, he is actually quite fortunate to be within striking distance.
I know.
It's not too late. He can clean up his rack with something like Grebe at the bottom right next turn. Grebe.
Yeah, the score.
Kind of bird.
Yep.
37 keeps the Q again, but it just kind of keeps him in striking distance. This is really what you want to do when the tile gods aren't acting in your favor.
Yeah.
You're really just trying to keep yourself in range, sort out your issues, unblock yourself, and just leave the door open for a flash of luck down the road.
Yeah.
And Stefan's done quite a nice job of it, actually.
Yep. I, all unseen. So all it really takes is one play to draw a U or something, and
That's right. The Q looks very unhelpful, and indeed, there's no spots even for a Chi on the board. But right, with 3 U's unseen, all it takes is just drawing one of those U's to turn it into a potent asset as opposed to an obstacle, which is how he probably sees it right now.
So we'll see what Sam does here. If he decides to move on with his life, he does have the little drop of ZOA for 30, which isn't the best thing ever, but it does makes that left side of the board much harder to access.
Has he been playing this slowly, consistently? I have seen he's been on stream a couple times.
No,
I wonder if
he hasn't.
Could be a sign that he's feeling the pressure, or
I mean, he's had not a lot of easy plays. No, this is definitely the slowest he's played on stream thus far. Waif is an option. Doesn't do too much. The more I look at it, I actually don't really mind Zoa, just because it's the left side of the board is getting so hard to access, and that
absolutely
is what he's going to play.
It's thematic as well. It blocks a bunch of potential 8-letter bingos for the T, the A, or even the V.
Yep.
So I think that's by far his best option. He could even draw a bingo himself.
Yep.
And try to put the game away entirely.
Yeah, and I pick up, with all the IE being the most likely draw, twangier, etc. But he does not. Anything but a good draw there, I would say. Not horribly surprising. I mean, that rack can obviously go very south very quickly.
I'm a little worried that Stefan has not played Grebe instantly, because he's been playing most of his plays just about immediately to keep the time pressure on.
Yeah.
The fact that he hasn't, that's so much better than any alternative, that the fact that he hasn't done it makes me think that he possibly has not seen it yet.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he was going to play bevel through the V, and that just got blocked.
That's
He may have been waiting on that one.
quite possible.
Yeah, GLQ is obviously not great, but kind of stands out as an obvious play. Grebe is not as obvious, but I would still expect him to find it. God, in this, I mean, I would probably play Grebe, but I would also have to think about Beller.
Beller, nice.
back Beller.
One who bells.
One who bells.
The Beller with
there's
the ball.
Grebe.
Oh, very good stuff.
So, I mean, it's frustrating because you're down 90, and you're like, oh, good, my best play keeps LLQ, and I get to block the board even more. But it's the right play.
He's just keeping himself alive.
Yeah. And to your point, he's had a bunch of crud this game, but he's had good plays that he's made very efficiently. And he's got 16 minutes left, and Sam is already down to 8.5 minutes left with 44 tiles or 40 tiles not yet encountered.
He's kept the door open. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Again, 3 U's, 6 I's, blank, blank, S unseen.
Right. From Sam's perspective, the most worrying thing is that there are 2 blanks unseen, and neither of them has made its emergence yet.
Ooh, a third L.
I think Sam is going to think pretty strongly about turnover here, trying to play more letters, and indeed he's going to play Dwang.
That's exactly what I expected.
Actually, you don't always want to play for turnover, but middle of the game, no blanks unseen. You want to start getting more aggressive, playing off more tiles, and trying to get one of those blanks in your hand. You can think of that as being worth 30 points roughly. And so there becomes a high premium on playing off a lot of letters and trying to unearth a blank. And he has a fair chance of it right here. We'll find out.
And that's been one of the themes so far, is the blanks have been staying in the bag for a very long time. So we've had a surprising amount of times where, turnover has been a good idea.
Excellent. I mean, that makes, in my opinion, that makes for some very fun and strategic games. So
I mean, even
sounds like a treat.
The first game, Sam against Dave, Sam inadvertently blocked Dave's only bingo that involved making one of the blanks a Y, hooking CH, and Dave drew blank blank, and Sam was able to keep Dave from getting a bingo down with both blanks. So
Sam has a potent plays just around. He did miss a blank, but he drew one of the other.
Yeah.
We mentioned there being a lot of firepower unseen. Well, he has the X, and he's threatening infix.
Which would be
for 46 points. Very likely that I would be very
saving mix. Lots of things that he could double up.
Absolutely. So Stefan's decided to exchange and keep AT.
I think you keep an L there, right?
I disagree with his choice of letters. I would exchange 7. I mean, you need both you need probably one of the blanks to come back.
Yeah.
Just maximize your move on, maximize your chance of pulling one of the golden tickets.
Yeah.
Just that's I would have thrown them all back, but this is pretty defensible. Mistakes on exchanges are usually just a matter of a couple of points.
Yeah.
Perhaps not worth agonizing over.
Yeah. Well, infix gets played almost instantly.
Absolutely. That's a welcome sign. That's a welcome play for Sam, just because it gets him off the time pressure. For a minute, he gets Stefan writing his score down, drawing tiles, all on Stefan's clock. That is quite the pressure valve.
Yeah, and if Chesbase does get hit, Sam now has an additional turn's worth of points. He'll still basically be ahead after a bingo, and neither of them drew anything vaguely good. Remarkable. Did he draw anything? There's no out wax.
Well, Sam has a big play right now. Tetics. But it's not the easiest to
be mixed.
Yes, that one also.
So I guess it worked out pretty okay for Sam. He'll find B mix for sure.
He has his choice of big plays.
Yeah, his choice of big. Yeah, I did see Tetics as well. That would be. So that's just kind of a game ender for Stefan probably, because he just drew garbage. I don't know. Does he even have any good? I haven't really found anything even vaguely decent.
Well, I love these positions in Stefan's shoes. I know that being down 113 with terrible tiles doesn't sound like somewhere you particularly want to be. But the reason I love it is because this is where you get to get absolutely wild with your plays. I mean,
Yeah.
you're down to a couple percent to win, so you get to be audacious. Basically,
Yeah.
you get to get very experimental. You're probably going to lose, so the consequences are minimal.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're in the middle of a tournament, you can't go too crazy because you don't want to totally sabotage your greater prospects outside of this game. But let's get experimental with it.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do here?
I think Chat seems to agree with what he's got lined up, which is Owito and Ono, and that's a nice way to reopen the board.
Excellent. I love it.
Yeah.
And uh, it's going to give him an excellent chance to draw one of the two blanks.
Yeah.
Of course, he immediately reshuffles his rack, but
Right.
I think that's just a solid good play. That's not a wild play. That's just a star play.
The wild play was probably going to be Wawa throwing caution to the wind.
It's probably a little early for
Yeah.
reckless abandon.
Yeah.
He can do Awato also with the A.
Oh,
He had
Awato, yeah.
Awato with the.
I think you
the
play
E,
Owito
didn't he?
because look at the unseen pool. There are no A's and 6 E's.
Wow, yeah,
So,
this is a great example of
Yeah.
why it matters to pay attention to the pool, where that last A suddenly
Yeah.
becomes precious. He's
Yep.
going to do it.
He's going
Excellent.
to Owito his opponent.
Quackle loves this play.
Yeah.
I have been quackling. I was kind of lying to you guys. I have been simming away in the background. And Sam, of course, takes absolutely no time.
To play B
He
mixed.
probably
Nice.
feels very confident. He's blocking some of the hooks of Chesvez.
Yeah. There's a good chance you get a +5 on B mixed also.
Although Stefan doesn't seem to.
There's-
Oh, there we go.
There's the Q. That's what he needs. He's already got Quare guaranteed.
Oh, boy.
Square.
Oh, yes.
All right. Is there
It is on.
anything insane here?
Let's go. Is Masker good? Masker and Chesvez?
Masker is good, yeah. Because I tried playing Masked once, and that is not good. Is there anything on the left side with Owito? Can you get the?
Oh, I sure hope so. I'm gonna stare at this for a minute and then wave the white flag. And I mean, he can just do squares and triple the Q as well to the right of Aweto.
Yep.
Okay, this is
giving me.
this is where I was hoping we were gonna get to.
This is giving me Harcabusier vibes.
Ooh,
If you remember that game.
I do not, but
I think you
I
were
like
in the game.
word. Oh.
It was down here where like one of you played Arquebus, and then
Okay.
Harcabusier became possible.
People tell me all the time about stuff that I did that I don't remember. I don't know.
Quasher.
I don't know what that says about me, but it's
Mm.
probably not a good sign. Oh yes, Quasher would be 108. Masker would be 104. I think there's maybe a case for Masker, because going back and forth. The Masker, one of the principles when you're down multiple bingos and you have a good rack is you want a bingo in the spot that's harder to hit.
Yeah.
And I think Masker and Chesvez is a little bit tougher to. It's less likely to me that he's going to draw another bingo that gets to hook Chesvez. But if he plays Quasher, what's nice is there's a couple more U's unseen, and sure, Sam will have them a lot of the time, and he has one right now. But that gives him a plausible path back to victory. It could be Quasher, and then I play a Q word for 50. Or I think in practice, if he were omniscient, or if he grabbed Sam Rosin's towels and looked at them, he would play Masker.
Yeah.
But he has to find Quasher in the first place.
Yeah. And he does see squares, which is still honestly it might work out better for him given Sam's tiles, right?
I don't mind squares at all.
Yeah.
It's 98 points.
Yeah.
I think.
And having the S to play through because it keeps the board open, right? Like
I don't mind it, but
Yeah.
Quasher is 108 points.
Yeah.
That is a lot of
Yeah.
points to say no to.
So
So
that blank still hanging, or the second blank is still going to be hanging out there. We'll see if he can pick it up.
absolutely, and he has to make an inventory of. So he needs to bingo. He's going to bingo big here. He has to bingo one more time, and he has to make an inventory of how that's going to happen.
Now he's putting the S in the wrong spot. No, shouldn't he be reversing the blank?
Yes, he has foregone a point for no apparent reason.
Yeah, and likely 4 point or 6, 7 points when his opponent plays through. Yes.
Right. It's a slight.
Yeah.
In the scheme of things, it's
Yeah.
probably. Then again, he's down to 140, and if you're going to pull off an audacious comeback,
yeah.
then every point. Did I pronounce that funny? I probably did.
Oh, I don't know, but apparently "audacious" is a word. It means audacious.
No.
Yeah.
Who comes up with this stuff?
John Chu. I'm sorry. What? Well, let's see. I mean, he's got to draw the blank. He's going to need the blank to win this game.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a little tricky. He's going to have to, because he didn't play Masker, he's going to have to either bingo hooking Chesvez. He can bingo to the left of the
God.
B. He could hit the M.
The L's are back. Ooh. Ooh.
Wow. Kilogi, Lime Lake.
Yeah, Lime Kiln. Don't quite. Kilo something? Kilo Lime? No.
Excellent. We are
Achilles?
in for a treat.
Yeah.
Do not move away. He might not have it this turn, but
he'll get another turn to.
This is going to go down to the wire, folks.
Yeah. In an ideal world, he'd probably want to open the left side where the T is in Awito. I don't see anything that allows him to do that. But that seems like it would be.
I don't think he's going to have time to do that. So
yeah.
There's 7 tiles in the back. We're in what's called the pre-endgame phase, and tempo is a big factor here.
Yeah.
Where there's a significant premium to being able to go out first in the game. And you can, if for an expert like these two, you can start sequencing your plays so that you make it more likely that you're the first to go out. So Sam here, think about it conceptually. If Sam plays 1 tile, Stefan can get him down to the usual typical Magic number is 2 tiles. That's what you want to stick your opponent with, because that's 2 more tiles they have to put on their rack before they can empty their rack.
He's giving a bingo back to Stefan, giving him tail-like. I think is the word.
Utilize. I understand where Sam is coming from on this, because he's seeing the blank and he's just thinking, probably he's a statistician by trade, I do believe.
Dr. Rosin, yep.
And he's thinking, okay, I want that blank and I'm going to maximize my chances of getting it. But he's going to see real fast that Stefan almost certainly has it. He hasn't drawn poorly, it has to be said.
Yeah, I have to wonder if he'll still be able to hold on after tail-like, because he does have a pretty big lead. But it looks like there's a P in the bag, which means that Stefan should be able to score pretty well for his outplay.
Stefan is down 72. So right now, if Stefan bingos, he's going to draw 1 final tile. Yeah. We happen to know that the P is the invisible tile in the bag.
Yeah.
And there are a couple, even though he has tail-like, he's going to have to at least consider what happens if he plays off a tile and tries to draw another bingo. One worry about actually the nice thing about tail-like, if he puts it on the board, is that normally when you bingo on the second column, you worry about giving back a ton of points on that triple word score, but the K is a blocker. It's actually going to prevent overlaps.
No O's left.
So tail-like is actually quite safe.
Yeah, with that poorly placed for Sam that.
And tail-like is going to put him up 4 points. Usually that won't be enough. I would think Sam should be able to score enough. So that's why Stefan is going to start thinking, okay, is there some kind of a a giant bingo out there that I can try to play for. Maybe hooking Chesvey's. Like he might need to actually not just play his 76 pointer that's immediately before him, but to actually go for something even more audacious. He almost has Plisky on the right,
Nice,
and
yeah,
making Chesvey's, but it doesn't quite fit. That would otherwise that would be a perfect
yeah.
candidate.
So I think I found a 1 in 8, or maybe it's more than that. It won't work in this case, but if he fishes off an L, he could go for dislike and tide like.
Yes, dislike would be
And dislike
perfect
is like a billion points.
because it triples the K, and then you get to double all that.
Yeah,
So we have the benefit of omniscience, so we know that the P is unseen, whereas he would need to draw a D.
yeah,
But I think he should play for dislike because it's 111 points if
yeah,
it goes down. So um, I don't think he can win if he just goes ahead and bingos right away. I think he's grappling with that, and
yeah,
we're going to see him probably use the rest of his time looking for the kind of scenarios that you
yeah.
mentioned.
What does Quackle say if tail light gets played? Should be able to handle the one in the bag, I hope.
Oh, it's not even a. Oh, right. I think it just looks like a loss by 20 points or so. Is the
Yeah,
gist of it? Quackle, exactly. Quackle has Stefan eschewing the bingo
yeah,
and doing exactly what Conrad mentioned of just dumping an L. You can play Jaw for 10
yeah,
points. You leave yourself down 62 points. But when you do one of these scenarios at the end of the game, if you're emptying the bag, one of the key things is you have to give yourself two distinct places to play whatever you're going for.
exactly.
Because at the top level, these players are tracking the tiles very carefully. So the moment that all the tiles are out of the bag, it becomes a game of perfect information, just
Yeah,
like chess. So the result of that is that if you only draw a bingo that's in one place, that fits on one place on the board, it'll just get blocked. That's
right.
like one of those things you learn early in your
Yeah,
Scrabble journey. It's like, oh, I have a gigantic play. Oh, how did he know to block it? Well, that was the only spot.
yeah,
So the advantage of playing JOL is if he drew that D,
right.
then he has two distinct places,
Yeah,
dislike on the on the top right corner, tide like on the left side, and it is impossible for them both to get blocked.
yeah, yeah. He does have the L separate. So he's got eye blank. I mean, that's awesome. I mean,
I have
we,
to say I've been really impressed with Stefan's game.
yeah,
I've only played him a couple of times in tournaments. We often see a rotation of the same faces on the top board. It's cool to see Stefan up here in contention with I mean, we have the best players in the world in this room, and based on what he's shown this game, he didn't get the benefit of very good tile draws, but he made consistently very strong plays.
yeah,
I would love to see more Stefan on the top
yeah.
board.
All right, so he found tile like as well. So he's found all the things.
Right.
Now it's up to him to decide. I mean, obviously, we know he should just play the bingo, keep it close because he's, not going to win. But from his perspective, he's done all the right things.
Right.
So,
It can be pretty hard to pass up a bingo
yeah,
here. I mean, spread is a tiebreaker at the end of the tournament,
right.
so
Yeah,
doesn't matter whether you have 70 or 80 additional spread. I mean, he could easily go from having a bingo to just missing.
right.
So
Exactly. And it looked like
uh,
he's going to go ahead and take tile like,
I
uh,
understand where that's coming from.
yeah,
I think I would go for the scenario that we were talking about, but I think this is pretty defensible.
yeah,
It's not impossible that I mean, if Sam makes a hash out of his final play or keels over from alcohol poisoning, or I guess I
yeah,
shouldn't. That's not a really a joking matter. But yeah, or falls asleep, or
yeah.
it's not impossible that stranger things have happened, shall we say?
Yeah.
Especially in New Orleans.
Wander points out that a couple of the tiles Sam did not keep after utilize. He did not keep the D. He also did not keep the R. I do wonder if he had switched up, and so the blank is a D. I think if he had played squares, swapping, and then utilized scoring way fewer points, and then maybe Sam obviously is holding tile like and will do so until he's positive he's going to win. Could that blank flip flop have made a difference?
It's a nice point. Every point counts. These micro optimizations earlier can be the difference between having to try for a Hail Mary and just being able to win by scoring a lot.
Yeah.
So that's a really good insight. I also love Wanderer 15's insight in the chat about utilize says some very specific things about what Sam had at the time. It tells you that he didn't have the D on his rack, or he would have tripled on you.
Yeah.
Of course, Sam drew 6 tiles from the bag, so there's a more likely than not,
Yeah.
as actually happened, he's probably going to take that D
Yeah.
out of the bag. But that the power of inference is one of these next level top expert concepts that I think we're all not leveraging enough, actually. So that could have factored into some of Stefan's thinking, why he thought dislike was worth trying. I see the question of what does 5 points do?
It's
And
a troll. Just kidding.
Yeah, what does 5 points do? That's well, you can make a pentagon out of it. What else can you do? A star. You could
I think it's a station, a main train station in Atlanta, or is that Five Corners? 5 points. 5
I
points
don't
is
know
a
that
big
one.
train
It's
station.
the historic neighborhood in it's where the Irish people lived in gangs in New York.
That's true.
50 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
But you can do a lot of
That's-
things
I
in
think
5
that's what I'm
points.
thinking
I
of,
mean,
yeah.
you might get in a lot of trouble with Daniel Day Lewis if you do it, but
So Sam is going to challenge. I think he must know that it's a guaranteed win, right?
yeah.
Like
He
I
should.
don't think you challenge that if you aren't positive.
He feels pretty comfortable. He has a number of
Yeah.
juicy scoring plays. He can play Heapy and Yad. He can do many things at this point, and
It's
victorize. Not actually a word. The top play is left as an exercise for the reader and for young Sam.
Oh, I said it in chat. Sorry.
The top play has been spoiled by one of the two commentators.
Yes. Hello to my mother. Hello to Scrabble Kate. Hello to Dongi 2. Can you guess who Dongi 2 is?
I have my hunches.
Does Sam know he can still win after challenging? I would prove.
Does he know?
Well, he finds Tuyer because he's a good Scrabble player.
Very nice. I think he knows the P, unless he's mistracked. This is actually one of the main ways you can blow a one game, quote unquote, is by mistracking. In fact, Wanderer 15 has a nice video to this effect, not to remind him of leftover pain. But the P only plays for a few points. It's 9 points next to the E, so Sam knows that he's in he's able to win comfortably. He looks quite nonchalant, it must be said. But he was not in the easiest of straits earlier in this game. I mean, with 7-8 minutes left. And 2 blanks unseen. Especially those blanks can take some time to process.
Yeah, I mean, without B mixed, honestly, that looms large. As
infix and B mixed for a century's worth of points was a huge swing.
And 20 seconds of time.
Right. It was fast. It was pointy. And it allowed him to outrun Stefan's back-to-back blank bingos, which is exactly the scenario that he was probably hoping would happen.
Yep.
And Stefan leaves one point on the board on deck
on the scoreboard.
My metaphors are failing me.
But again, another awesome one in the bag end game. Stefan showed that he found the right end game, but I don't fault him for what he did. Might go try to grab Sam and ask him about this game. Would you like to do the honors and chat with?
Oh,
with
sure. I'll
Sam?
shake him down.
All right.
Absolutely.